Hello everybody, welcome back to the Motown Mex channel. I am your host, as always, the Mex Canadian, and yes, I know I have been gone longer than probably most of you intended or expected, and longer than I intended. That's how that goes. But I am back. I took a little bit of an unexpected break there, but I'm back, and I figured what better way to come back than doing my mid-season Detroit Red Wings grades. Obviously, after tonight's awful loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Detroit Red Wings are in second in the Atlantic, not the first. They were leading the Eastern Conference for a total of 2 days. So, positives. But, yeah, I figured that this would be the perfect time to do my mid-season grades, just because of where the team's at, and nobody expected them to be there right now, so we're just going to jump right into it. As you guys can see, I have the entire 2025-2026 Detroit Red Wings down here. Some that aren't on it. Let's just get the ones that aren't on the team anymore. Bergeron, obviously, claimed off waivers by St. Louis. MBN was sent down about 8 or 9 games into the season. And Justin Hall never even made the team out of training camp. So now we're just left with the current players on the Detroit Red Wings. And we're going to start off Mason Appleton. Mason Appleton started off incredibly well this season. He got put on the top line with Raymond and Larkin. Or not the top line. What's the top? Yeah, the top line with Larkin and Finney. And he scored like 3 goals in 3 games or something like that. It was insane. So, but obviously he's tapered off after that. He had a little bit of an injury recently. But overall, he's been perfectly fine with what he's been doing. I'm going to give him a B. Andrew Kopp, beginning of the season did not start well for Andrew Kopp. He wasn't really doing anything except for being defensively solid like, we expect him to be. He couldn't score worth a shit. He wasn't getting any assists, and it was just not a good start for Andrew Kopp. But recently, the last few weeks, he was put up as second line center. Actually, last month or two now, he's been the second line center to Alex DeBrincat and Patrick Kane, and he has been killing it. And it's not just because Kane and DeBrincat are carrying him. No, he's legitimately playing really good hockey. Like, this is the Andrew Kopp that we probably expected to be signing, and he's finally getting it down, which obviously took a lot longer than we'd expect. But to be honest, I don't think he was put in the best position since he came here. He was second line center to Tweedlefuck A and Tweedlefuck D when he came in. So, overall, he's been performing better than not this season. Andrew Kopp gets an A from me. Emmett Finney. Talk about the surprise of the season. Emmett Finney was a 2023 7th-round draft pick, as we know. He busted the doors down in training camp and during the preseason and during the No, he wasn't even part of the prospect games. But obviously, he has been super impressive. He has his ups and downs when he produces, which is to be expected, especially from a 7th-round pick. You don't expect 7th-round picks to even make the NHL in the first place, let alone one make the NHL without even having to be in the AHL first for an extended period of time. Obviously, I think he was in the AHL for, I think it was a 4 or 5 game stint last season. But overall, he has played basically to what we expect. He's still on the top line with Larkin and Raymond, and he doesn't look out of place there. I'm giving Emmett Finney an A on the season. Marco Kasper, talk about a disappointment this season. Marco Kasper last season almost had 20 goals. He really came on in the second season, but this season second part of the season, but this season so far, he has done almost nothing. He still plays his game well. I know people keep saying that you need to send Kasper down to Grand Rapids or bench him and to wake him up, but that doesn't do anything for you. It sends a message saying, hey, you need to get your shit together, but how can he get his shit together if, he's still, like I said, he's still playing his game. It's just the goals aren't going in for him. And you could see in his confidence, he doesn't shoot as much anymore. He defers more often. And, overall, his offensive confidence isn't there. But his defensive game is still on point. His piss-you-off game is still on point. He is still Marco Kasper defensively, just not offensively. So, but, if you're not putting the puck in the net, you're basically a bottom 6 guy. And Marco Kasper's not a bottom 6 guy. We know this. We've seen him do it last season, centering the second line of Kane and DeBrincat, and on the left wing of Larkin and Raymond. He's able to hang in the top 6 pretty easily. So, but I think I'm going to give Marco Kasper a D on the season. Like I said, he still plays his game. He still plays his defensive, piss you off, get in your face game. But the goals aren't going in for him, and he's just not not that he's not trying, I don't want to say that, but he's just not making the correct offensive decisions to put the puck in the net. He's got 6 points on the season in 42 games. That's not good enough to get you anything higher than a D. Dylan Larkin, how can you do anything but an A+? Yes, I know recently he's not been the Dylan Larkin that we expected. He's not been, or that we've seen throughout most of the season. I do believe that that's largely in part, it could be due to an injury, but I don't think so. I think it's due to, in large part, that most teams still see the top line of Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond as the primary threat. Yes, Kane, Kopp, and DeBrincat have been an insanely good line and our best line through all of December. But you still look at Larkin and Raymond and Finney, and you think that line can not only not push us around, but they can match us physically with Emmett Finney on there. But they've got the speed to burn us and the shooting skills to absolutely cook our goaltender. So teams are putting their best defensive pairings and lines, and checking lines against the top line, and it's really hampering them. But Dylan Larkin, he's third in team scoring, I believe. Yeah, he's got 38 points, 43 games, 21 goals. He's on pace for like 42 goals or something like that this season. So I can't give him anything less than an A+. He's the captain. He's leading the team. And he's Dylan fucking Larkin. U.S. Olympian Dylan Larkin, by the way, as if there was any surprise. Michael Rasmussen. Now, Michael Rasmussen's a tale of two players. At the beginning of the season, I was starting to jump on the get rid of Rasmussen train. Trade Rasmussen at all costs train. Package him for something. I didn't care. But he got benched for a game, and I believe if I remember correctly, Todd said that it wasn't because of his play overall necessarily, but also because they had too many forwards and somebody needed to sit, and Rasmussen was the guy who sat. So whether that was just a cover for Todd McClellan to just say that instead of saying, yeah, he's been playing like shit, so we benched him, or what, but yeah, he has, ever since that benching, he's been incredible. Offensively, he's not going to be an offensive juggernaut. Like, he's not going to live up to his draft stock offensively, but defensively and puck protection-wise, he's insanely improved in that. He's playing incredible. He's making smart decisions, and he has been contributing more offense. Obviously, like I said, it's not an insane amount, but he's got 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points in 38 games. That's good enough in my book for Michael Rasmussen at this point. Rasmussen's getting a solid B. JT Compher. It's rough here, ain't it? JT Compher, 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points in 43 games. He started very rough, and then during November and early December, he looked like he was starting to get into it. He looked like he was starting to pick up the pace and get in there offensively, and then now it's just nothing again. He shows flashes of what he did his first season with the Red Wings, but it's just not consistent. But he's still solid defensively, and he has his moments. I'm giving Compher a C. Lucas Raymond, another A+. How can you not? He's leading the team in scoring, 44 points, 41 games, 11 goals, 33 assists. He is still basically, he's still Lucas Raymond, right? Like, people are saying, he's not shooting like he used to, or people are saying that his game looks off, but he's still putting up points. He may not be dissecting, teams like he was on the power play last season, but he's still making incredible plays. He has still got that incredible hockey IQ, and once he gets more confident in the fact that, hey, he can shoot the puck like a motherfucker, then I have no doubt that Lucas Raymond is going to be a 30-goal guy consistently. And bold prediction, I know, but I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I believe Lucas Raymond has the potential to be our Mitch Marner, but good. Raymond has proved that he can do it in big games and in playoff atmospheres. He showed it at the Four Nations. He showed it before his draft. He showed it in the World Championships. You know, he's going to the Olympics this year for Team Sweden. So I believe, I mean, he's still developing, right? He's 23, so he's got plenty of room to grow still. Next, Soderblom. It's tough to grade Soderblom, honestly. It's because he's been playing well, right? He's been benched for the last, 5 games, I think, for whatever reason. But he's been playing fine. You know, he was on that line with, Danielson, Kasper, and Soderblom in him. And it was fantastic. It was a great line. They looked really fun. They were really fun to watch. And he's really started coming in his own with his body. You know, he's not laying people out like a lot of people would hope. A 6 foot, 230 guy. 6 foot, 230 inches. That's what I meant to say. Sure. He's not laying people out like many would hope he would with his size. But he's not being pushed around. You know, he is learning to use his body more to protect the puck. And he's still got hands that are smooth as silk, smooth, however you want to say it. I don't care, but I'm going to give Soderblom a C. You know, he's been fine. And he's definitely been developing like we would hope he would. JVR, easy A. You know, he missed all of training camp. He missed all of preseason. He had his twins. So he even started the season in Game 3, I believe. So, and he wasn't producing very well at the beginning of the season, but things have started clicking more. It looks like he's starting to get used to playing where he has been, and he's been scoring. He's got 10 goals and 2 assists. Like, he's scoring like he should. 12 points, 34 games. You know, he's not going to be, second overall pick James Van Riemsdyk, but he's going to put up plenty of goals for you, and most of his goals are 5-on-5. You know, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me because it's just a tier list, but he is very good at putting the puck in the net at 5-on-5. And there's very few people in the league that are as good as he is in front of the net. Alex DeBrincat, another A+ guy. Right now, Alex DeBrincat has 22 goals, 20 assists in 42 points in 43 games, basically a point per game. And he's still up at the top 10 of goal scoring in the league right now. He got snubbed for the Olympics, obviously, but DeBrincat's been playing great. He's been playing, after the growing pains of the first season with the Red Wings, where he wasn't the DeBrincat we were hoping we were getting. He's 100%, after last season where he scored almost 40 goals now, you can see his confidence is there. He went on a little bit of a spell of not scoring at all for the last, 6 or 7 games, which, DeBrincat's always, most of your goal scorers, unless you're upper echelon 100, 0.001% top tier goal scoring, you're going to have these lulls of, 4 or 5 games, maybe 6, where you just don't score at all, but you're still putting in the point. You're still racking up points, and that's DeBrincat. So he's got 4 goals in his last 3 games or something like that. So, he's playing well. He's one of the key contributors and drivers of this team right now, and he deserves nothing less than an A+ and to be on the Olympic team. Okay, going on to Patrick Kane. Oh, Patrick Kane. I don't know what to do here, honestly. He's a point per game, roughly. He's 24 points in 28 games, 6 goals, 18 assists. He's still Patrick Kane. He's still got the hands and the hockey IQ, but he's been injured a lot this season, and, he's not... like I said, he's still Patrick Kane, hands and IQ-wise, but he's not Patrick Kane in his being dynamic right now, right? And he's almost essentially useless at 5v5, right? He does almost nothing at 5-on-5 at this point. That's Kopp and DeBrincat carrying that at 5v5. The power play is normally his game, but even that started to slip a little bit for whatever. But the power play as a whole has begun to slip the last, week. So I don't know, almost a point per game. I think I'm gonna go with a B for Patrick Kane. Like I said, he's almost a point per game. He's still putting up points. He's still got the hands and the IQ and the vision to make the sick passes that he does, but he's just not the same Patrick Kane that we have had the last 2 seasons. Jacob Bernard-Docker, C. He's got 1 point this season so far. Yeah, 1 assist in 27 games. So, you weren't going to bring him in here to light up the lamp, obviously. You brought him in to be a steady right-handed defenseman, and that's what he's been. He has been a steady right-handed defenseman. He's an even 0 on the plus-minus, so must be doing something right. But I have no problems with Jacob Bernard-Docker, and I wouldn't be surprised if, Steve Yzerman brings him back in next season just to be that 6-7 D-man again. Ben Sherratt, I'm gonna give Ben Sherratt an A. Honestly, he's been pretty good this season. He still has his moments of why the fuck did you leave that guy open, or why are you screening your own goaltender? But overall, he's actually been really good. He's been a pretty decent pair with Axel Sandin-Pellikka. Obviously, that's not going to be the future of the second pair, and it's probably still got to change, because that second pair, if they're not in the offensive zone, then they're being hemmed in a lot. But Sherratt's throwing the body, he's providing offense, he's making smarter decisions than he was last season, and he's just been overall pretty solid. And actually, I've kind of convinced myself that I'd bring him down to a B, just because those defensive lapses are still there, and he still does make plays where it's like, where the fuck were you? But yeah, I have very few issues with Ben Sherratt's game so far this season. Simon Edvinsson, A. Giving him an A. He could be in A+ territory, but he just takes way too many penalties. And, that's not a massive knock on him, because some of the penalties that get called on him are super wishy-washy, or just not penalties at all, because he's such a big guy. But he does take a lot of stupid penalties, and it is something that, not stupid penalties as in why did you hook that guy, stupid penalties as in why the fuck did you go up and put a guy in a headlock, or why did you go and try and just start a fight with this guy, that type of stuff, which, like I said, isn't a knock on him either, because for years we have been hounding and praying to God that we would have a guy who, if something happened, if someone did something to one of our players, or someone was starting to be a pest against us, we have that guy who would just knock you on your ass and not take your shit at all. He would retaliate, essentially, without retaliating. And plus, his defense and offense have been very good. He got 5 goals, 10 assists, 15 points in 40 games. He's obviously probably not going to put up the same points as Seider will, or even Axel Sandin-Pellikka will, once he gets fully engulfed in the NHL. But it's also, he plays the game right, and him and Seider have been literally the best pair in the NHL. And Edvinsson obviously has 50% of that. Travis Hamonic, where else am I gonna put Travis fucking Hamonic, right? He's just been so bad, and everybody said, Hamonic's awful. Why did Yzerman sign him? Hamonic was bad. It was a $1 million contract for 1 year. Most sane people just kind of assumed that he was gonna be in Grand Rapids, and that Eric Gustafsson would be the 6-7 D-man on this team. But that's not the case at all. Travis Hamonic is the 6-7 D-man on this team, and it has not worked out in the slightest. He has 2 fights. He didn't do particularly well in either of them. He's more physical than, a good... He brings physicality, but that's all he brings. And his defense is the worst on the team by far. And even Axel Sandin-Pellikka has played better defense than him. Johansson, Bernard-Docker, they've played better defense than him. There's so many people on this team. Like, I'm sure you could probably throw Alex DeBrincat on the blue line and he would perform. No, you definitely could throw Alex DeBrincat on the blue line and he would perform better than Travis Hamonic. There are times where I think DeBrincat is our best defenseman on the ice, realistically. So, Hamonic is an F. He has lost his games. So he should be in the no longer on the team section, but we don't get that luxury. So Albert Johansson. All right, now this is going to be a bit of a controversial one because I know a lot of people are saying that Johansson has been playing well. Johansson's been awful. I don't see it that way. Yes, I will agree. He has not been what he was last season. Has not been the solution like he was last season. But I don't think he's playing awfully. I'm going to give him a C just because he's still playing his game. It's just teams have started, it's the typical sophomore thing, sophomore something. Teams have figured you out and they know how to exploit your weaknesses, and the whole part of a second, third year is to fix those weaknesses so that way teams can't exploit them at all or as little as possible. And that's what we see. That's what we're seeing Johansson go through now. His last few games have been pretty solid, and I think throughout the season and then into next season, we'll see him come back to the form that we seen him last season. Mo Seider, A+. Mo Seider's finally playing so well. He's got 7 goals, 24 assists, 31 points in 43 games. He's playing so well that he's getting legitimate Norris consideration now, and it's about time. And a lot of that has to do with his pairing with Edvinsson. He's finally got a defensive partner that he can rely on to be there for him. Like, it's incredible watching the two play. Every time I watch the Seider-Edvinsson pair on the ice, it's like they can read each other's minds, and they just have so much trust in each other. Like, when there's a opposing rush coming at them, you'll usually see Edvinsson take the puck carrier, and he'll be aggressive because he knows Seider is going to be there to take the pass and cover whoever is coming down the slot or the flank, and vice versa. And then you've got, they just know where each other is going to be, and it's been incredible to watch. They basically you cannot convince me that those two do not have some sort of telepathic link like twins. But yeah, Seider has been insanely good. I see no reason other than to give him an A+. John Gibson, talk about a turnaround. John Gibson started the season off horribly, and I defended him a lot, probably more than I should have and needed to. But he did not start off the season well. And at the beginning, I was like, all right, this is probably just him getting used to a new team. He's not familiar with the defense. And then once we got a little bit farther into the season, like end of November, I was like, all right, he's legitimately starting to lose us games. But, the defense is leaving him out to dry a lot. Yes, he's letting in soft goals, but the defense and the team as a whole are not helping him offensively or defensively, so I'm not going to crucify him. And then throughout December, he got better, and then he got better, and then he kept getting better, and now he's the John Gibson that we were hoping we'd get when we traded for him. So I have very few qualms about John Gibson right now, and this could be recency bias, but I am going to give him a B. Cam Talbot. This is the exact opposite. Cam Talbot started off the season really hot, and it looked like we may be in for another season of Cam Talbot being the starter and John Gibson, the $6 million goalie, being the backup, which was not what we were hoping for. But he started off the season incredibly well, and he kept the Red Wings in quite a few games that they probably shouldn't have been in. I don't think he really stole any of those games, except for the Toronto game, which was game 3. So that was the only game I think he really stole, but he made the saves he needed to. He made saves that he probably shouldn't have made, and he kept the team in games that they probably shouldn't have been in. So, but lately he's been very 50-50. He gives up rebounds that are collectible from California. He has let in a few soft goals that he wants back. He's just been not the Cam Talbot that started the season. But I'm thinking I'm going to give him a C just because he's still very serviceable in net as the backup. Axel Sandin Pellikka. This is a tough one to grade. Rookies are always tough to grade unless they're absolutely blowing the doors off or they're absolutely abysmal. But ASP has two very different qualities about him that make it tough to grade. One, his offense mind is incredible. We see it working, and he's got an insane shot from the blue line. And he's been putting up points, not as much recently as he was during December, obviously. For most of December, I should say, and even late November. But he is... You can see his mind working. He's got 4 goals, 11 assists, 15 points in 43 games. I believe he's 3rd or 4th in rookie D-man scoring. So he's been good for the most part. He's been a lot better defensively than I anticipated him being. But you see these moments where you definitely like, okay, this dude's a rookie, and not only is he a rookie, he's an undersized defenseman, and it's bit him in the ass more than a few times this season. He gets out-muscled more often than you would like when he's holding the blue line, and he doesn't win board battles very well, and then when he does, or he gets a puck along the boards, he doesn't think quick enough to where the puck needs to go. So it's all things that he's going to learn in the NHL, obviously. But I think I'm going to give him a C. You know, I could be maybe convinced to put him in a B, but you know, it's obvious that he's a rookie, and an undersized rookie at that, but he'll get to it. His offensive mind is too good for him to not turn it around at some point, whether it's the rest of the season or next season. He's just too good of a player to not turn it around. And plus, once he gets that defensive stalwart of a partner, which whether it's Johansson bouncing back, or Eisman trades for a top 4 D-man, or, you know, whatever, it's going to be, you know, you're going to see those defensive mishaps and stuff like that. So I think a C is fair for Axel Standing Pelka. Nate Danielson, obviously he got injured before the season started, or else he would have been on the team to start the season. Todd McElhone even said that himself. He's got 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points in 28 games. I completely forgot he's been up for that long, but he's much like Casper, except he's got the rookie status to, you know, fall back on. But he's been playing his game. He's solid defensively, and he has these flashes in this offensive playmaking sense that you've seen throughout junior that you can see flashes of. But the problem there is that it's not showing up on the score sheet. It would probably show up more on the score sheet if, you know, his line mates were scoring. Casper obviously is snake bitten all to hell, and, you know, the other winger that they have has been some rotation of Soderblom, James Van Riemsdyk, and Mason Appleton. So it's, you know, it doesn't show up on the score sheet, but he does make plays that you're like, all right, this guy can be a dude. And personally, I think that Nate Danielson will be the Red Wings' future second-line center. So, but I think overall, I'm going to give him a C as well. I think that's fair. You know, he's not putting up points, but he's also not costing the team points. So, but that's my list. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Tell me what you think in the comments below, where you would put some of these guys, what changes you would make, and if, you know, tell me why. Tell me why you moved, you know, this guy to there or that guy to there, or why you think this list makes sense. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is, as always, the Mex Canadian, and I will see you guys in the next one. Adios.